Another day arrives and there's more Mortal Kombat 1 news to talk about. I'm telling you everyone, there's so much to cover every single day, so if you want to stay up to date on Mortal Kombat 1 news, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell down below so you don't miss any future videos. And then afterwards, if you enjoyed the video, please show your support with a like down below. And without any further ado, let's jump right... Okay, who turned off the lights? Good thing today's sponsor is Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering a box of awesome top-shelf goods from under-the-radar brands. It's free to join and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. 90% of the products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the US. For example, the Knife in the Terra box is made by Bare Bones, based in Salt Lake City. Every month, Bespoke Post introduces you to cool new products. Outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and more, even oysters. And the items you see are based on a preference quiz that you fill out beforehand. Every box of Awesome has around $70 worth of goods inside, but you only pay for a fraction of that. And keep in mind, you get to preview your box of Awesome before it's shipped out, so you can keep it, swap it for a different box, or skip the month entirely for no extra charge. In other words, you only pay for what you want. The box lineup is changing every month, and I want to show you what I got this month. So let's open up a couple of packages. For my first package, we got a hatchet and a tinder scraper. The hatchet is pretty self-explanatory. It's great for chopping down tinder, and then you can use the tinder scraper to make really fine pieces of wood that are great for starting campfires. And as you can see, the hatchet comes with a sheath, which is great for keeping yourself and others safe when you're not using it. Really nice feature. And next up we have the headlamp, which you already saw earlier. It has multiple settings when you press the button on the top. It's got super bright, less bright, red, and then red flashing. So really cool features. And then perhaps best of all, you can strap it to your head, which means you can look around and still have your hands free to do whatever your hands need to be doing in the dark. But of course that's not all. We also got a Mizu water cooler to come with it. Pretty decent size and great for keeping your beverages cold. And then finally we have a toasted coconut vanilla bean bar, which I haven't tried yet. Let's dig in. Down the hatch. It's great, tastes like marshmallows, great for camping. And then finally we have Koala Tree. This thing transforms into a backpack when you unzip it. Check it out. And there you have it, look at that. It's a full-sized backpack complete with straps and everything. How cool is that? As you can see, Bespoke Post is amazing and new members get 20% off their first box of Awesome. Just use my link down below in the pinned comment or video description and then use code TUDG20 at checkout to get 20% off your first box of Awesome. Thank you once again to Bespoke Post for sponsoring today's video. I highly recommend them. Ever since Mortal Kombat 1 had its official gameplay reveal trailer, Ed Boon has been doing constant interviews. And just in case you're not aware, Ed Boon is the creator of Mortal Kombat, or rather he's one of the main creators of Mortal Kombat. And at this point, he's pretty much a figurehead. He really does represent the entire game. And that's the main reason why he's constantly being interviewed. Even if he's not the writer, or the programmers, or the character designers, he's still the man that everyone goes to for information. Which honestly, now that I think about it, must be very stressful because there's things that he's not allowed to talk about. In fact, there's videos where they bleep out what he says because he slips up. What did you say there, Ed Boon? Which character did you accidentally leak? Which game mode were you talking about? Post in the comments down below what do you think Ed Boon was saying there when it was censored. Low-key though, could you imagine what an absolute Giga Chad the interviewer would be if he just leaked the raw footage online anonymously? No, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. Alright, be nice to Ed Boon. He's doing all these interviews. The man looks kinda tired, and who wouldn't be? But there's one interview in particular that stood out to me where Ed Boon talks about guest characters, and more importantly, how he reveals that some cameo fighters are going to be guest characters, which is really great news for two very big reasons. Let me break it down for you. Number one, having guest characters as cameos means we get to see characters who would never make it as a fully playable character, because let's be real, there's just not that much they can do. Or maybe what they do has already been done and better by a different character. You all know who I'm talking about, Michael Myers, okay? I know everyone loves Michael Myers, but the reality is he's a mask-wearing dude who carries a sharp weapon, okay? Who did that first? Jason. He was fully playable in Mortal Kombat X, and he was amazing, because not only does he carry a sharp weapon, but he's also got mystical powers, right? The dude could teleport. He can come back from the dead, he can flip your controls, you get what I'm talking about, right? Compared to that, Michael Myers just wouldn't measure up, in my honest opinion. When it comes to horror movies, they're both fantastic characters. I'm not gonna say which one is better in that regard, but when it comes to a fully fully playable fighting game character, let's be honest, Michael Myers just would not measure up to Jason. And the same is honestly true for Ghostface. I love this character. He is an icon in horror. In fact, he's one of my favorites because he started the trend of like torturing you over the phone. Your boy Ghostface took prank calls and made it terrifying, which is so cool. Even to this day, I love Ghostface. He's a big part of horror, especially in pop culture. And as a cameo character, he would be fantastic. His fatality would be fantastic. Just imagine it. The screen goes black, and then suddenly the opponent is tied to a chair. They get a phone call and it says, "Do you like scary movies?" And then they get killed or something crazy. It would be awesome. I think that Ghostface and Michael Myers would make fantastic cameo characters. And that's because cameo characters are less complex. So now characters who would never have made it on the roster as a fully playable guest character can still be playable in the game as a guest fighter. And that's awesome. And it's not just simple characters who benefit from this loophole of cameo fighters. Even more complex characters like Pennywise could be perfect as a cameo fighter. Because think about it, Pennywise can be literally anything. So when you're designing him as a fully playable character, it would be hard to understand where to start and to end. It would just be really difficult and in fact impossible to fully realize the character. However, as a cameo fighter, he could transform into different creatures, have some film references, and that's about it, and it would be perfect. Not too much, not too less. It would be the ultimate way to include Pennywise in the game. Now that being said, if he was a fully playable character, I would not lose sleep over it. In fact, I'd be very excited. But my point is, after throwing shade on Michael Myers and Ghostface, I think Pennywise, who's a very complex character, could also work really well as a cameo fighter. And now's the part where things get really crazy, alright? Because I don't think people fathom just how ridiculous it is that cameo fighters can be guest characters. Because keep in mind, there's only one reason why a guest character would not be in Mortal Kombat, and that's the fact that you can kill them brutally. You can do fatalities on them. That reason alone is the biggest hurdle to why so many guest characters could never be in the Mortal Kombat series. But guess who can't be fatality'd? That's right, the cameo fighters. Even when you beat the opponent, you can't kill their cameo. Or in other words, the floodgates are finally open. Pretty much any character who is moderately violent can now be a cameo character because you can't fatality them. Pretty much any violent video game character can finally be a guest now. Characters from Tekken, characters from Street Fighter who are more aggressive and brutal can now be cameo fighters. In fact, not only can you not kill the cameo fighters, but by the end of the match, they're not even covered in blood. They're squeaky clean. And that just means even more possibilities, because think for a second who owns the Mortal Kombat IP, okay? Their name is Warner Brothers, you may have heard of them, and they just so happen to own a bunch of characters. So can you imagine the DC superheroes, for example? We had Injustice, now imagine them as cameo fighters. It is very likely that in Mortal Kombat 1, you can play as Scorpion and then summon Batman, or summon some other DC superhero, right? It's very possible. Or hey, how about Harry Potter? It's very possible that Harry Potter could be a cameo fighter. Well, maybe not him specifically, but maybe Voldemort or a Death Eater. I could very easily see one of them being a cameo fighter, because don't forget that Mortal Kombat 11 was used to advertise Hogwarts Legacy for a short period, which was super funny because people on Twitter got upset for pretty much no reason. Meanwhile, I'm sitting at home just flabbergasted at the fact that I'm playing Mortal Kombat and I see an advertisement for Harry Potter. Never in my life did I think that would ever happen, so I was just flabbergasted. I hear that game's actually really good, by the way, Hogwarts Legacy. I've considered buying it just to walk around Hogwarts and just see what the castle looks like on the inside, because I'm a weird architecture nerd like that. But I digress. Hopefully you understand why I'm so excited about this revelation, okay? The idea that cameo fighters can be guest characters just has endless possibilities. Does anybody else remember how Ed Boon kept talking about a horror fighting game? Alright, that could be possible now. Characters who can't be fully playable can still be cameos, which means you can have tons of horror monsters from different movies and stuff fighting each other as cameos. And I personally just think that's really cool. But now, to end the video, I wanted to be serious for a second and talk about why guest characters are so popular for NetherRealm Studios. Or in other words, I want to explain why game developers like to include guest characters, because I think there's a bit of a misconception. To the hardcore players, guest characters can be a bit annoying, and that's because they take a slot away from somebody else, whether it be a returning Mortal Kombat character or a brand new Mortal Kombat character that fits in the universe. So for example, instead of Joker, you could have been playing Serena, right? That's the main reason why a lot of hardcore players don't like guest characters, and they wonder why NetherRealm just keeps including guest characters, and in fact in every game there's more guest characters. Why are they doing that? And I've seen some people state that the guest characters don't even sell as much as the other characters. So for example, Joker did not sell as well as a returning Mortal Kombat character like Shang Tsung. However, I've never seen any actual real data that confirms that statement, although it could definitely be true. So once again, the question is, why are developers like NetherRealm including guest characters in their game, especially as DLC? Well, the honest honest reason is actually quite simple, although it may sound profound if you never realized this before. The reality is guest characters might not be downloaded or purchased as much individually, but they do sell more copies of the game in general. What do I mean by that? Well, so for example, let's say you have a normie who knows that Mortal Kombat 11 is out, but didn't really feel the urge to play it. But then one day they're watching YouTube and they see that, wait, Rambo is in Mortal Kombat 11? I love Rambo, man, I gotta buy this game. Or hey, maybe they're a big comic nerd and they're like, you know, I'm on the fence about buying Mortal Kombat. Wait, Joker? Joker is in Mortal Kombat 11? I'm definitely buying that game. Wait, hold the phone. You're telling me that RoboCop is a fully playable character in Mortal Kombat 11? Yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I wasn't gonna buy it, but now I'm gonna buy it. That right there is the main reason that Warner Brothers and NetherRealm loves putting guest characters in their game. Even if they are downloaded less as individual characters, which I can't find any data to confirm that, the fact is they do sell more copies of the game, especially post-release. Mortal Kombat 11 could be 3 years old, right? But then suddenly Rambo comes out as a DLC and people are like, oh my god, gotta buy that game. I know I'm 3 years late, but I wanna play Rambo. I'm going to pay $60 to play Rambo and maybe a bit of RoboCop. That right there is the main reason why developers like shoving in guest characters, especially in fighting games like Mortal Kombat. At the end of the day, it really does increase the overall sales of the video game by a very considerable margin. But then honestly, on top of that, I just love the speculation, right? It's fun to get the fans excited. It's fun to tease them with possible guest characters returning. Take me, for example. I'm still holding out hope that BloodRayne could be a DLC character for Mortal Kombat. I think she would fit perfectly. So if that character got announced, you would not hear the end of it from me, and I would definitely be playing that character all the time because I've always wanted her to be a guest character, and that's coming from me who doesn't really prefer guest characters. Normally, I'm the cliche fan that wants Mortal Kombat characters only, whether it be returning or brand new Mortal Kombat characters. I'll take them over guest characters most of the time. But then you have characters like BloodRayne or even Homelander or Omni-Man. Those characters would be sick and I would absolutely download them, buy them, and play them a ton. BloodRayne is my number one though, alright, because she's awesome, and also oddly enough, NetherRealm's never had a female guest character, which is not a big deal. I just find it funny because they've made so many games and never once has a guest character been a lady. It's just kind of funny to me. So I'm just saying, Ed Boon, if you're watching this video, or if anybody at NetherRealm is watching this video, BloodRayne would be the perfect female guest character for your series. I mean, so would Buffy too. I know they wanted Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She could be a cameo, like she absolutely could, but I want BloodRayne, alright? BloodRayne is cool. You can even fatality her and it would be okay. Alright everyone, you get the idea. Cameo characters are amazing, and having guest characters be cameos is also very exciting. Keep in mind, it's not exclusively going to be cameos though. I hope nobody watching this video thought that. I know some of you just casually listen to my videos while doing other stuff, so just to make it clear, there are going to be guest characters in this game who are fully playable characters and not cameos. However, on top of that, there are going to be cameo fighters that are guest characters, which I think is a great idea, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell, that way you never miss any future videos. I cover Mortal Kombat 1 news on this channel all the time, so make sure you don't miss out. And also, make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.